the fulfillment in seeing when I would go ride with groups, just the happiness of all the kids. Truly, that's the coolest part of this whole thing.
Your journey in mountain biking has so many chapters to it, and now with adding this one, what were the happy moments or the things that you didn't know, or the rewarding moments from FLYRS that you hadn't experienced in biking before?
When you are trying to perform at a certain level, especially kids under the age of 18, 17, really shouldn't be going and riding their bike for performance. That's when you're kind of becoming in your early life mid-crisis of like, now I need to perform to at least make myself feel a little bit better, you know? If you can cultivate the love, the performance will come.
Sometimes biking's about like pushing the limits, and sometimes it's just like get out in nature, pedal it out, be in your head, and like chill out.
It's hard because, you know, some people, that's just what they do. They ride for performance, and it's not to say that they knew any different. And some kids love that, but some kids don't. So we got to find a good balance between the two.
Awesome. So good to see you again here, Quinn, in the studio. And now, and it's kind of like, I don't know, what's like you send the person off to battle and they come back victorious. It's like when we were first talking, you're like taking on this behemoth of FLYRS. So everyone, Quinn Travis, the executive director of FLYRS Bike Club.
Yeah, Flagstaff Youth Riders.
Flagstaff Youth Riders, the local Flagstaff Youth Bike Club. And you just took that on about a year ago, we're saying, right?
1 year, yeah.
And now we're 1 year older and wiser.
We are.
and so I have so many questions, but I wanted to, I thought it'd be fun just to kind of try and encompass a little bit of like what you have gone through and all that, to where, what was the most difficult thing that you didn't know before you got in it?
Yeah, so it is funny that we're coming back, right, to a year later, because when we first talked, I was so fresh. When you were asking me questions, I'm like, Chris, honestly, I'm going to say this is what we're going to do, but I actually don't know.
Yeah.
So now a year in, I have a little more wisdom in the nonprofit world. But a lot has happened in the organization where, you know, I take it on, I'm working with Tyler, kind of getting the reins, and then, you know, about 3 months in, our program director, Stephanie, love her to death. Oh my gosh. Just decided that it was her time to move on. And that was a huge shock. I was like, oh no, because I don't know how to do your job, and we got to hire someone or I got to figure this out. And so Hannah, she's been working for FLYRS for about 3 years at this point as school program manager. Mm-hmm. And she's wonderful. And I took her to coffee and I said, Hannah, like, I want to offer you this position.
Yeah.
And I want you to take some time and talk to your family and see how it is. And for a while, she was like, I didn't think she was going to take it. I was like, if you don't take it, I don't know what we're going to do, you know? But yeah, she, you know, about 2-3 days later, she's like, yeah, I'll take it. I was like, awesome. Thank God.
Yeah.
So that was a huge first hurdle, right? Just like program director who really took on a lot of stuff at FLYRS, you know, and she had great systems in place and she kind of knew what she was doing. And not to say that Tyler didn't or Hannah didn't, it was just everyone had their lane and they were really good at their lane. So when she left, it was a little bit of a, oh no, what are we going to do? Because we were going to roll spring registration within like 3 or 4 weeks. So we were oh man, I don't know what we're going to do. But we buckled up and Hannah and Stephanie trained together. And Hannah's rocked it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And for a lot of people listening, if you don't know, it was just Hannah and I all year. So,
and then add in, now is Rebecca new?
Becca's new.
Okay.
So you know, basically we ran everything up until fall programs by just Hannah and I. And it was
all the summer programs and camps.
So I was at museum running that, and then Hannah was at Fort Tuthill.
Yeah.
And you got to think we're running, you know, 60 kids at each camp, you know, with 6 to 8 coaches that we've got to coordinate. And then some are doing half day, some are doing full day. We got parent pickup we're just really, we had a great plan coming into it and we executed it, but man, were we like running around with our heads cut off, you know, like, you know, and a kid broke his collarbone on Schultz. And so we're like, oh no, you know, so we got to call the Forest Service because when they were closed, we had to open up, they gave us the codes. We're like, open up the gate, drive up there, drive with a parent, like evacuate the kiddo out of there. He was safe. He was all good. But yeah, so we really were just running kind of on 2 cylinders, literally, you know, and just like revving at like 8,000 RPMs all year.
I just pinned.
Yeah, just pinned. Man. And so I think that was the hardest thing, right? Just kind of coming into it with like, we have a budget and we really had no time to hire. Like it was just kind of like, all right, Hannah, it's just you and I. What do you need me to do? And we did it. Yeah. But with grants and, you know, funding, it all worked out. And that was kind of another challenge, right? As I've owned my own business, that's different. It's kind of like I have a cost of goods that I sell, and I know what I'm going to pay to get those goods, and I know what price I'm going to sell them at. But in a nonprofit world, it's like, okay, we know what we bring in for our programs, but here's what it costs to run our program. You know, like, so we need to make that all up. And, you know, community sponsor support, individual donors, grants, and all those other things where I was like, what? They just give you money? Like, why? Because, you know, it's a write-off, and it's, you know, and it's actually,
and you have kids rolling out there that were sponsored. Yeah. Right. And you have kids riding bikes that were from the program. And right. So that's the beauty of it, right? It's be so easy if it was just a paid to play program.
Oh, totally. But we have a mission to remove the barriers to cycling. So we get those kids on bikes with who otherwise wouldn't be on mountain bikes. And that's what's really cool about FLYRS. And this year we did over $45,000 in financial aid this year.
Wow, that's awesome.
It's about $8,000 more than last year.
Wow.
So that's why it's you know, we do amazing work, and but that $45,000 we got to find, you know, because those are bikes, equipment, coaching costs, all that stuff. Yeah. And but yeah, so a lot of learning and a lot of growth. I think, you know, coming into 2026, I'm like, there's nothing we can't do. Like, you know, we got through 2025 and we executed, and our numbers went up. We have more kids on bikes. We gave out a lot of financial aid. Our school programs were great. We got good feedback from the community, so we understand what we need to adjust and grow from. But that's easy, and we'll do that. So
I love that. Well, and then before we get away from it too far, though, and I know when we spoke last time, really, in your journey in mountain biking has so many chapters to it, and now with adding this one, what's different? Right. So what was in the positive, right? So that was kind of what the overwhelming piece, but what, you know, we all bike for fun, right? Yeah. So what were the happy moments or the things that you didn't know, or the rewarding moments from FLYRS that you hadn't experienced in biking before?
Man, I just, the fulfillment in seeing when I would go ride with groups, just the happiness of all the kids, you know, I think truly that's the coolest part of this whole thing. Yes, the business and the admin stuff and all that stuff is, everyone has it. But what we're doing, and like, you know, I get to go ride my bike with a bunch of rad kids, you know, and so that's, I think, the best part of this that I knew was going to be a factor in this job. Yeah. But I didn't really realize like how much purpose now I have in this of like, I want to keep doing that, because making those kids, you know, create friendships and love for the trail, and then challenge themselves on stuff they didn't think they could do, and they did it. And then getting a text message from a parent like, hey, like, I just want to thank you. Like, my kiddo is like stoked about today. I don't know what you guys did, but he cannot stop talking about it. And I'm like, those are the things that they're never going to forget, and it's going to create better humans because of it. Yeah. That period. Like, I mean, that's why I do it.
I love it. Yeah. No, and as you're talking about that, just, you know, I've been coaching with FLYRS for a while now, and a couple things come to mind that it's very unique in that, like, there's not a lot of kids that are good at everything on the bike.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of fun because you'll have that kid that's a good descender and then he's getting killed on the way up, or, you know, and it's just like, it's just this balance where kids can then teach each other and have this flow. And then, you know, I know it's, well, and I've always been one, you know, the old saying, and I know it's hard when you say it in like a kids program, but you got to do something every day that scares you.
Yep.
And mountain biking can definitely do that really quickly.
Oh, yeah.
And seeing kids then, because I don't know how often a lot of kids really do face that type of like, hey, performance fear, and like, let's go, let's step up to the plate and learn this and do this. And when you see them on the backside of that, right, like they're just like, oh my gosh, I did it, right? So much confidence boost. And then you go, oh, don't do the next one. Like, that's a little big. We'll get there, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so amazing.
These kids scare me, where, you know, they get that confidence after doing something that they were just too scared to do.
Yeah.
And then they did it. And then like the floodgates open.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh, coach, I can definitely do this. Not today. You know, like, let's not do that today. Cause like, we're successful. No one's hurt. And we just did some gnarly stuff. Like, I don't want to just take that one more chance because now you're super stoked and you just want to do it the next big feature. But like, maybe let's come back to it next week and do it, you know? But
and full admission, that, you know, I've been telling you as I've been coaching in some of those upper groups with my son that some of those kids will try things on the trail that I've kind of like, as I'm hustling by, I'm like, someday I'll stop and spot that or figure it out or something. And these kids will do it. And I'm like, now I got to do it. So I've actually expanded my trail repertoire with these kids doing stuff. Cause I'm like, if some middle school kids ripping that, you know, big rock whirl, I'm like, I got to do it.
Yeah. Like the one on Schultz. I bent my bars because I had to do it. Coach, you got to do it now. I'm like, I can do it, but I'm not going to do it. Get up there. My stem was too loose. My wheel just goes, and my handlebars stay the same. Oh yeah. I've been there. Yeah. And they challenge us, you know? So it's really cool. And the friendships that blossom, you know, like from the first practice, a lot of the kids know each other, and then a lot of the kids don't know each other. Yeah. And then week 2, week 3, week 4, now you're starting to see these really cool friendships, and they don't go to the same school, but what they have in common is they like to ride bikes. And so you get to kind of see that friendship blossom, which for me, like, yes, it's dope that we're doing mountain biking, but like what's really cool about it is this culture we're creating for all these kids to have a like-minded sport that's really healthy to do. And they it's kind of a taboo thing, not here in Flagstaff, but you have your friends playing baseball or hockey or, you know, whatever the team sport is. But here it's like, no, they like riding their bikes on dirt.
Yeah,
you know?
No, and it's huge for that community. And I'd say that's what I realized when I, you know, in the coaching realm, I'm like, I got, you know, 6 kids from 4 different schools, right? And so I do find that kids really, really need that community. I'm excited to continue to see that grow, that, you know, and from those moments so I did one of the first groups that I helped with, and I don't think we had it in the same fashion this last round, but it was just middle school boys. Yeah. Where they'd break them. They had enough enrollment to where they broke them out into different groups. Yep. And that was pretty rad in the sense, like, I'd have some kid that was like ripping it like every single week. And then all of a sudden he's like, hey, I'm going the mild group. Like, it's been a day. Like, it's been, but just being able to like get on his bike and see, like, okay, sometimes biking is about like pushing the limits. And sometimes it's just like, get out in nature, pedal it out, be in your head and like, chill out. And he'd be like smiling at the end of it, right? Yeah. So it's just kind of cool that biking can be, you know, we're nerding out on it, obviously, we're the fanboys, but it's like biking can be so much for different kids, and seeing them get all of that, right? From just like the getting out in nature, such a open, like, yes, we want to bike and we want to do well and we got to get through this trail, but it's also in the way that FLYRS is and based on their standards, right? Or what are the FLYRS values, or what is it called?
Our mission?
Yeah, or the mission statement, and all those different FLYRS. What are the different?
Oh, the 5 respects.
The respects, yeah. None of them are like racing and let's get the fastest time.
No.
Right? And it is so much about like the team, the community, and kids, you know, their personal development.
Yeah.
So it's just awesome.
And that's, you know, a big thing I really want to, press to whoever's listening and whoever has that kiddo who's like, man, maybe FLYRS would be right for my kid, is that we're not racing focused. Like, we're far from that. We're actually, trying to develop resilient, growth-oriented youth through mountain biking. We're not trying to create, the next UCI world champion or anything like that. Will those riders come through FLYRS? Yeah, because it's kind of hard not to when you're kind of in the environment of mountain biking. But what we're trying to do is build that community, the trust from our coaches, right? Having coaches like you, and we have 80 coaches who are just great human beings, but a great role model to look up to, with our girl groups, right? We have girl coaches who are phenomenal mountain bikers, but that's a great role model to look up to as a little girl who's just getting into mountain biking and rides their bike with their dad or mom. But, and it's like, that's kind of boring. But when you see, you're riding your bike with other girls, with girl coaches who shred, I mean, it's just a great atmosphere to be in to cultivate success, whether that's on or off the bike. So yeah, we're just trying to create that culture that these kids, it's like an after school program, but we go bring them outside on a mountain and kind of scare them a little bit, but it's really good, right? In a safe way.
In a very safe way. Yeah. Very safe and controlled environment. Yeah. No, for sure. And I'm thinking of so many families I know that, do try and get out with their kids every now and then and ride on the bike. And it's important to the parent. But just with all the other school stuff and different activities, they don't prioritize the bike the same. It's kind of a bummer. Like, again, I know everyone has their life, like live your best life, but I always think kind of a bummer when it's and sorry, we've been very intentional about our kids on the bike. And so it is kind of a bummer when it's like, it just like when I took my kids to the ski hill for the first time, none of them, well, maybe one of them like actually enjoyed it. Yeah. Right. The rest of them were like, this is uncomfortable, cold, whatever, it's new. Right. Yeah. And so I think a lot of kids that if they don't get over that kind of initial piece of like the mountain biking, and then the parents wonder like, why does my kid share my passion? It's like, well, you haven't invested the same way. Exactly. And what better way is than seeing their peers? Because that's, again, ski hill analogy, or the FLYRS works as well. Of like when they're around a bunch of kids that are like in it and stoked on it, that gets translated way better to them than like a parent saying like, you should do this hill.
Yeah. Because honestly, as a parent, you're not that cool, But like the cool thing about
realizing that,
right? But like, and I'm a parent, so I understand. But like, what's cool about FLYRS is first, it gets them stoked on the sport because it's FLYRS. Yeah. Like all those kiddos are wearing their shirts to school. I mean, they are wearing it like it is a team, and we're just a big community. But then they're stoked on bikes, but then how can we translate that to parents who might not be into mountain biking? Because we have a lot of parents who actually don't really know what, like, man, I dropped my kid off.
That's true.
At FLYRS, but then I can't ride with them. So as FLYRS, we're like, well, how can we better suit those parents, right? So I think next year we want to do like parent clinics, riding with your 3rd through 5th grader. If they're going to be faster than you, that's okay. But let's show you the ropes of at least our coaching style, so that you can be a successful parent taking your kid out on the single track. Yeah. So I think it's something cool that we'll implement. But to say they'd much rather go ride their bikes with their friends than with their dad and their mom. Yeah.
Yep. Especially, and I think, I don't know, we can go off on that all day long too, but I think especially at certain ages where it's like, hey, if it was fun as a kid, but unless they really found that passion for it, and I think a lot of people see that fall off as like kids get busy into other things. It's like, well, if you didn't plant the seed and grow it, right? So if you want them to ride with dad and keep riding with dad, you had to like brought that to a certain point.
Yeah, where it becomes something that's like a ritual in a way, where it's like, this is what we do on Sundays. Yeah. But then also having a program like FLYRS in your town is a great way to cultivate that seed in your child. Absolutely. Which is really cool that we have this. There's really a few towns in this country, like probably this many, really, that have kind of a similar youth mountain bike program. And they're usually in places like Colorado, Utah, Arizona.
Yeah, because again, it's categorizing it differently from other folks that might have like, hey, a middle school like racing program, where we are starting to feed into those programs because those are much more prevalent, but then it's not the initial like just introduction and enjoying and fun. Like I know like my kids have not really wanted to be so race focused, but have wanted to just get out and enjoy the bike and progress and not have to worry about a timer comparison, and that's been huge for them.
Performance is a killer. You're right. When you are trying to perform at a certain level, especially kids under the age of 18, 17, really shouldn't be going and riding their bike for performance.
Yeah.
That's when you're kind of becoming in your early life mid-crisis of like, now I need to perform to at least make myself feel a little bit better, you know?
Yeah.
But if you can cultivate the love, the performance will come, you know? So I think, just starting at the basics of, man, I just like riding my bike a mile. And then the mile's like 2. And then I like riding my bike with FLYRS. And then, wow, I rode my bike 5. And then, man, in the independence when they're in middle school and high school to go ride some Schultz in the forest by themselves at that early of an age because they've been riding with their parents or they've been riding with FLYRS and they're just comfortable with the trail systems. Like it took me, I was in my early 20s where I was like, all right, I feel pretty comfortable out in the forest because a bear or a lion was going to bite my head off. Seriously, like I would be in the forest being like, all right, when am I going to get eaten by a mountain lion? But it took time, you know? But these kids are like in middle school, I just went on a 30-mile ride with my friends. I'm like, by yourself? Or, that's crazy. I would have never done that in middle school.
We had this, our enduro group was so pushing it this year that we did Eldon. So the upper lot to Eldon, so at the gate, granted, Eldon to up, down, under, up Sunset, up, down Full Sail. And then to make it back on time, we had to cruise the road from the tank.
Yeah.
But it was just, I think it was like 13, 14 miles in that short time with a bunch of 11, 12-year-old kids.
Yep.
I was like so stoked on them.
So stoked. But then as a coach too, you're like, guys, maybe we should turn around. No. I'm like, guys, Coach, we really got to do Full Sail. You promised us last week we're going to do it. I'm like, that's another 2 miles with 1,000 feet of gain. All right, let's do it, But these kids do, they're at that point where they're like, go, go, go. And then they can wake up and then do it again. And like me, I'm like, oh, man, if I go to bed at 9, I could probably feel a little bit better tomorrow to do it again. But they're just like, their energy is just like, I can do it and do it and do it. Yeah. But yeah, it's just been so cool to see just the leftover of the programs from this year, just like families and kids and, just kind of like, how the experiences that were created in this last year through FLYRS, I think is really cool. Yeah. As the executive director, I can look back and be like, man, there were so many smiles, there were so many friendships, there were so many hardships, and then hurdles that were conquered. And, I just feel like I've seen a lot of kids really grow into amazing kids. Yeah. They were amazing to start with, but, they really opened up, and you can tell that they had more confidence, and, and all these kids are so nice too. I mean, it's so cool to see actually genuinely nice kids. Every single program I was coaching, they're always saying hi, thank you so much. If there's a hiker on the trail, they're all saying hi, thank you. Yeah. And down the line of 10 kids are all just so polite. And I mean, kudos to the community for raising amazing kids, but it's cool to see that, if you're not working with kids every day, it's hard to see that these kids these days, but they're actually really cool.
Yeah. And I want to be really, I should be careful how I say this. I want to be really careful how I say this. Having grown up playing different ball sports, I'll just leave it at that. Having played different ball sports with a focus on performance and the weekly game and that type of thing, taught me a ton of things. But I will say that that's been a huge observation because I wasn't part of a bike club or this type of involvement when I was a kid. And what you're explaining, just who shows up and how they show up. And because of the program, it's this kind of chicken or the egg situation, right? Of that, it's this really, really warm and welcoming community. Yeah. And I'd say it goes so far as to say in the different ball sport communities we've been a part of, a lot of it is then really, really dependent on the coaching that you get and if it's this really positive experience or not, if your kids get to play or not. But everyone's got a bike, everyone's on the trail. And I have yet to meet a coach that had pushing performance situation in FLYRS or something. Yeah, so it's it's definitely this totally different vibe.
Yes.
That I don't know. I'm just trying to sell this to so many parents that even friends of mine, they're like, you need to get your kids in FLYRS. Cause it's like, no, even if you got like the ball sports are great, but if you like offset or build in the time,
it's once a week.
It's a different thing.
It's a week.
It's a different beast.
You know, and that's the thing too. It's not a huge commitment.
Yeah.
It's just once a week. You drop them off on a, Monday through Thursday, depending on what group you sign up for. But it's once a week for an hour and a half for 7 weeks. Unless you do summer camps. All right, then you're in. Yeah. Drop them off at 9 and you'll pick them up at 3 for 5 days out of the week. But most of our programs are pretty relatively easy as parents. You're not like, oh, bike practice, drop them off, pick them up, drop them off, pick them up, and like, so we try to create that as well as like an ease to parents to make it super accessible is kind of the point, right? It's like trying to bring more access to cycling in terms of low demographics, underrepresented youth. But then for parents, like we need access, like we want it to be easy for drop-off. So we try to make a good location schedule, try to make our trail systems, which living in Flagstaff aren't that far away.
Yep.
So there's a lot of things that go into it. And then to backtrack, there are some coaches that are really focused on performance. And
absolutely.
I think as the FLYRS staff, we want to just, we're moving into 26, is just trying to cultivate the knowingness of what we are.
Yep.
And unless you're coaching ACA middle school race team or the racing and development team, we shouldn't be focused on performance.
Yep.
But it's hard because, some people, that's just what they do. They ride and they ride for performance. And it's not to say that they knew any different. And some kids love that.
Yeah.
But some kids don't. So we got to find a good balance between the two,
Yeah.
So because we have so many coaches, right? It's like, 90% don't focus on performance, but maybe 10% do. And then if you're a parent who dropped your kid off in a program like that, just know that that's being addressed. And, we want to make sure that every kid that feels welcome in those groups.
Yeah. And I think there's some subtle definitions between like progression and performance, right? Of like, hopefully we're getting better, right? On the pedal.
Yes.
And then there's also different groups, right?
Yeah.
Like if there's advanced by the title of a group, right? That group might be a little more progression focused.
Yeah.
Right.
And progression is innately in these kids' DNA.
Yeah.
You put them on a bike, they'll progress in an hour.
Yeah.
And progression is awesome. As coaches, we love to see progression. Like that is, performance. And I want to be the first one up the hill. We're going to go,
start measuring times
and
start,
get your heart rate monitors, guys. We're going to stay at 135 beats per minute for an hour. Like that's performance. And that can be a little intimidating for someone who's like brand new to mountain biking.
And it's not for everybody.
Yeah. We're like, wait, what are we doing?
Yeah, exactly.
Like my heart rate,
cadence.
Like, I don't even know like what's resting, So,
exactly.
So I think that we do have racing programs, but ultimately we just want to get them all together and ride bikes, and some are fast. Some groups are fast. Some groups are slower. Some groups are happy. Some groups are mad. Some groups are anxious. Some groups are glad. I don't know. There's a plethora. We have so many programs. And like, if you're listening as a parent, you're like, dang, how big are they? I mean, we had over, we were close to 1,100 registrations this year. So, I mean, we have a lot of programs.
A lot
of programs.
So let's jump into just real quick then, 2026.
Yeah.
I know we got kind of a hot minute you'll get to breathe a little bit before this gets kicked off too hard. We'll talk about the fun.
Why I'm not breathing right now? Yeah. Because I'm actually not breathing.
Gotcha. We'll jump into more imminent in a second here. But things to head into like next year, things to think, are any other major shifts or things that parents should be keeping in mind or looking out for?
Yeah. So this is actually great to talk about.
Okay.
We're going to send out a newsletter within the next few months, but we are currently recreating our whole website.
Okay. Very cool.
Yep. New design on our website, and we are using a new registration system.
Okay.
And I will be public about this. We are changing our registration system because the corporation that we are using is actually withholding all of our funds. Since the transfer was made in July for fall registration, and we have yet to receive our money.
Oh, really?
Yes. So it's scary because we use that money to do our programs and to keep FLYRS rolling.
Gotcha.
We are doing great. Grants and fundraising has been good this year, but it's also very scary just because we have bikes to purchase. We're doing a new school program at Cromer come the spring, and it's scary. So I just want the public to know, like, that's why we are changing our registration system, our website, because they host our website and they do our registration. So when you click that little button and you go to that new page, that's who's withholding our money. I don't need to say the company name. You can just search up one company that works with nonprofits that isn't good, and that's the one we use.
Oh no.
So it's super unfortunate, and communication has been less and less active as I keep reaching out to this company. And we're not the only nonprofit in this situation. So it's really scary for a lot of nonprofits right now in this country.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So watch out for the switch there.
Yeah. So that's why we're switching. We're not trying to switch to make it hard on you guys as FLYRS parents. That's just what we need to do because I think we deserve our money.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. And if a business isn't following through with what they say they will do, you no longer have our community's business.
Absolutely.
So we got a new website, a new registration system, but it's going to be super sleek. You have to just put your email and a password in and input your kids. So as you're going through your checkout, John,
everything's just
push
kind of
bike, boom. And
cool.
Yeah. So it's going to be so much easier.
Cool.
To navigate. But yeah, so that's like the really, really big change as of right now. And we're still working through the kinks. So our website's still current, still the old one. But yeah, as we move forward, but we're going to come public with this eventually because we just want the community to know that we are scared that we won't receive those funds and we don't know what to do. So yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'll be looking for more information on wherever help can be found on that. But then I guess one of the big things that people can do, and that's kind of work to then wrap on this one, is then what the community can do is come out big for the fall fundraiser, right?
Yes.
So talk to me about that.
Yeah, so we are doing our November fundraiser. It's called Movie Night and Silent Auction. So our silent auction is currently open right now. So you can head on to that Octria website.
Perfect.
It's not the bad stuff, not the bad guy. Promise. So log on. They won't take your money or our money. And yeah, so we have a bunch of cool stuff. We have Airbnbs.
There's a bunch more this year.
Tons.
I was like, and I didn't know it was live yet, so I'm going to have to play around this afternoon. So no, yeah, a lot of cool locations.
Yeah.
That was cool to see.
Yeah, we have like a Airbnb in Crested Butte, Colorado. We got Airbnb in North Carolina. Got one in Sedona, Fountain Hills. We have swag from Pivot. We have like Beta Climbing Gym. We got a cool like month membership there. Elevate, go jump. I mean, we got Lowell Observatory, tons of cool stuff. So go check it out. It's a huge fundraiser for us. And then,
can I make a fun comment on that?
Yeah.
The one of the owners of our company, they do a lot of veteran events. They do one of the largest veteran funded events in Texas every April. And he got up and they do this crazy auction. And he said this line, and just I love to say this now on the start of every type of auction.
Yeah.
And he just opens up. He's like, "You didn't come here to find a deal. We're here to help veterans."
Yes.
Right? And it kills me because some people think like, oh, maybe you can buy something for cheaper than it is. If you want that, so I was like, no. That's not the idea of a fundraiser. You're not here to buy a sweatshirt, an Airbnb or whatever. You're here to spend a lot of money that you'll get some token thank you is the item you're bidding on.
Yeah.
So that you can support kids on bikes.
Period. Dot the end.
Isn't that true? Like, you're not here to get a deal.
Mic drop. And it is so true. I want to say, yeah, you get things at a better price. But truly, the reason we do an auction is to start at a low bid. And let's make it
Back
high.
it up.
Like, I want to see either hit the nail on the head with what it's actually worth, or let's go a little higher, you know, like, because the more community engagement we get on this, right? I mean, it is huge for our scholarship fund. Like, this is what we use for our 7 schools that we partner with. We get all of those kids on bikes for free. They sign up. These kids come from all walks, and they've never ridden a bike. They kind of ride a bike, but we get them on bikes. Long story short, yes, it is absolutely to get more kids on bikes. So so please, I have a bid currently, so don't take it. I'm trying to get a deal. But yeah, so it's some good stuff. A lot of races, whiskey off road.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys want to get in? Like, we got race entries, and then we are partnering our silent auction with a movie night. So $15, same. So on Octria, where our silent auction is, that's where you can get your tickets. You can buy online or at the door. $15. Kids are free. There's going to be beer. We're partnering with Dark Sky Brewing. They're going to donate us a bunch of beer. So we're going to try to sell that. So buy the Dark Sky beer, because 100% of the proceeds will come back to FLYRS.
There you go.
We have brand new FLYRS swag.
Love it.
Like, it's sweet. We've been wearing it around, but I'm like trying to tell my staff, maybe let's wait to wear it, but like, we can't wait to wear it. So we've been wearing it around, but so that FLYRS swag is going to be first open to the public on that day.
Initial launch. Okay.
And then we're playing Lael Wilcox Rides Around the World. Okay. It's this awesome documentary of Lael, who is an ultra endurance bike packer, and she sets the FKT of riding around the world.
Awesome.
So there's a certain route you have to hit, like 18,000 miles, and you have to, I don't know, there's some like logistics behind it. Cause I'm like, how do you ride your bike around the world? You got a boat. You got to get on a boat or something to get to the other side, you know? Yeah. So it's a really cool documentary. It's really about bringing community together through biking. Cause every country she goes through, every town, I mean, there's hundreds, if not thousands of people who meet her.
Oh, wow.
So she's riding through like Argentina with like 100 cyclists behind her.
Yeah.
So it's like this story that was like, hey, I'm going to break an FKT, but really I'm actually bringing community together. And that's what's so special. And I was like, what's more perfect than a community bike riding documentary for FLYRS?
Exactly.
That's like what we're doing.
So this is Friday,
November 21st.
21st.
At 5 p.m. at Coconino Center of the Arts. It's going to be so much fun. So we're playing the movie, and then we're going to have a bunch of intermissions. So Fratelli's Pizza is going to be there. So we got pizza, $5. But if you buy a ticket, anyone, you'll just get a free pizza. And then after that pizza, please pay the other ones. And then we have a bunch of raffles too.
Cool.
So then we're going to be raffling off like registrations. We got some fun. We got a bike that we're raffling off.
Oh, nice.
A nice enduro bike.
Oh, sick.
So there's a lot of cool stuff. And the main goal is to just bring community together at the end of the year and celebrate first like a new FLYRS and what we've just done the previous year, you know, and the goal is to raise a bunch of money, period. Yep. Like, I'm not going to skirt around the bush. Like, we want to try to actually, when we're having tension behind our fundraisers, and actually create a community event that's going to be fulfilling to everyone who shows up, but then also is really fulfilling for FLYRS and our mission and how we can, you know, go forward with that. So, and then our auction is going to close like when the movie night ends. So I'm going to be on the mic saying, all right, guys, we got 10 minutes until the auction closes. Scan the QR codes, get your last bids in. So hopefully it'll be a nice last, like I've got, hopefully I want it to sell out the place. Like, I want Coconino Center of the Arts to kick us out because we have so many people. But I'm like, you know, we have 200 people and all right, guys, get your last. And so we can just start getting those last auction items bid on. And, you know, we got cool stuff. So definitely go on there and check it out. But yeah, so I'm super excited and there's been a lot of work going into it. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So please come. So our work is, you know,
absolutely,
it's fulfilled.
Yeah. No, we'll work to get this posted first of the week. So build some momentum. And I think those are the asks, right? Community, get out to the fundraiser, jump online. If you don't have time to make it, at least bid.
A bid.
You can bid from the comfort of your own home. We know you're death scrolling anyways.
Oh, exactly. Doom scrolling for sure. And like doom scroll on FLYRS
auction.
Because there's some cool stuff. Like screw Amazon. Right now, go on to FLYRS auction and put some stuff in your cart.
Yeah, exactly.
Put some bids in.
Yeah.
But it's really fun on the back end to see it like all those bids rack up.
Yeah, exactly.
So far we have 3 bids.
Oh, 3 bids?
3 bids. Total. So they're going to win whatever they bid on.
No. A lot of people are smart. No, that's where I was like, oh, you're bidding against yourself kind of thing.
No, but like Thursday, we'll start seeing those things come in. But
I might go just start placing some initial bids to just first blood it. Yeah. We'll get on it.
Right now, I got a good prize on an NBAA race.
Exactly. Well, awesome. And then, we'll probably reconnect in the spring as that registration kicks off. But any other messages for the community, Quinn?
No, I just want to thank everyone for being a part of this awesome culture and community that we've created, that Tyler's created, and we're still rocking and rolling. So just thank you for like being a part of it and signing up and just trusting in us. So yeah,
absolutely. Thanks again, man.
Appreciate
Looking forward to next year.
Cool. Thanks for having me.
Yep.